You got New England pride, show us. You've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us. You got New England pride, show us. You've got New England pride. New England pride.
Hey kids, welcome to the latest episode of New England Pride TV. I'm your host, Dale LePage.
And I'm Tina Marie Billing.
We're going to start out this episode with our Pride Pets segment. You guys have been so great getting out to the shelters and adopting furry friends for your family and yourself. And this is our latest shelter that we're focusing on. What do we have?
Our shelter for this month is Ahimsa Haven, located at 381 Baldwinville Road in Templeton, Massachusetts. Their telephone number is 978-939-8464. Their email address is info@ahimsahaven.org. Ahimsa is a word meaning compassion and nonviolence. Ahimsa Haven was incorporated in 1999 as a nonprofit animal rescue group. Their mission is to find good homes for abused, abandoned, homeless, and unwanted domestic animals. They raise money through donations, grants, and fundraising events in order to provide routine and emergency medical care for animals in need. Every penny they raise goes right to the animals. No one gets a salary.
That is wonderful. Now, what's the name of it again?
Ahimsa Haven.
Ahimsa Haven. I'm glad you had to say that, not me. Now, one thing, our Pride Pet segment is put together by a wonderful volunteer named Lori. And I don't think Lori realized it, but it's in Baldwinville, Mass? Templeton?
It's in Baldwinville.
And that is my hometown. So that is where I was born. I was born in Templeton, which is basically attached to Baldwinville. So thank you, Ahimsa Haven, for all the good work you do. Now we have a little tidbit from the Hanover Theatre, from the Performing Arts. They would like us to promote Something Rotten. Something Rotten is coming to the Hanover Theatre. It's been called Fresh, Irreverent, and Hysterical by the Associated Press. It's set in the 1590s. This hilarious smash hit tells the story of Nick and Nigel Bottom, two brothers who are desperate to write their own hit play while the rock star Shakespeare keeps getting all the hits. When a local soothsayer foretells their future in theater will be involving singing, acting, and dancing, Nick and Nigel set out to write the world's very first musical. So that's coming to the Hanover Theatre for the Performing Arts in February. Now that's going to do it for our opening segment, and we've got more New England Pride TV coming right now.
New England Pride TV is brought to you by the Hanover Theatre for the Performing Arts, Remax Vision, Bay State Savings Bank, Safe Homes, Joseph Gonzalez Dofrain, Boston wedding photographer, Paul Chasen Interior Design, Nuovo Restaurant, Dr. Frank P. Fetchner Plastic Surgery, Fallon Health, The Queen's Cups, This Week in Worcester, Electric Haze, Escape Games Worcester, The Fireplace Room Restaurant, Uniquely Your Decor, and Art Reach.
Hey kids, welcome back to New England Pride TV. Right now I'm sitting with Tim Rondeau and Ashley Delgado. Now let's start with you, Tim. You're on that end. So you are Mr. Gay Rhode Island 2017.
That is my title, yes.
That is your title. And
although I think that when this is running, it's going to be 2018, so I'll be...
It will be 2018. Happy New Year, everybody.
Right, yeah.
Right, exactly. And you are Ashley Delgado, who is Ms. Lesbian Rhode Island 2017?
Correct.
Now, what I want to know from you is, I don't have much experience in the pageant world or anything like that, really. Tell me, first of all, what made you want to compete in this pageant?
Sure. So I think for Rhode Island Pride, this is a pageant that's been going on for 20 plus years. And it started off as like a bar pageant where, you know, it was for Pride specifically, but it's really grown into like a leadership role within Rhode Island. And we got excited about it. And, you know, my then boyfriend Joe, who's going to be on shortly, I believe, he said, you know, you should run, and I think you have like the leadership that it requires, and obviously that was great. And I thought he's right, so I ran for it. I had never had a pageant run in my life, nor did I ever think that that I would be doing it, but I did it, and it's been a transformative year for sure.
Now, when you're speaking about actually being in the pageant, were you? I mean, I sing for a living besides do this, but sometimes when you're in that mode, when you're on stage with the band or you're in a pageant, is it so nerve-wracking that you just don't even remember some of it? Like when
You go into a zone.
You go into a zone, yeah.
I think the 3 weeks prior are pretty foggy for me.
3 weeks is a long time to be in a zone.
Yeah, it was stressful, but it was ultimately a lot of fun. I think that it was a great bonding experience for all of us who won, and also I bonded a lot with the other contestants, so it was a really great experience overall.
Now, Ashley, when you were thinking and considering about competing, how did that come about? Did friends tell you, you've got to do this, you're going to be perfect for this? Or did you say, damn it, I'm going to do this?
Well, it actually took me 3 times of competing. This is my 3rd time, and I was lucky enough to actually get it this year.
Wow.
Yes, so it's very exciting.
I love the perseverance.
Thank you.
Really admire that.
I knew I really wanted to be involved, and so I just had to keep going. And so this year was my year, and I'm like super excited about it.
Now, so this was your 3rd time. Now, did you learn from the first? Did you learn from the second?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to figure out exactly what I was trying to give back to the community. I would say the first time I really just wanted to get involved, and like every year that I went after that, I was like, you know what? I really have a mission. I really care about certain things. I just want to get that out there for people.
Now, was it a nerve-wracking experience for you competing, or was there?
Absolutely. Every time it's nerve-wracking. Every time I've had the similar experience of that foggy 3 weeks before, because you're really in the zone the whole time.
Now, were there a lot of contestants?
This year there were.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for each category a lot, or just in total?
In total, I would say, but definitely each category had at least what?
Mine had 6.
Yours had 6.
Yeah. So how long does this event last, this Pride pageant last?
It lasted maybe 4 or 5 hours.
That's a long time.
It was a long time.
Yeah. Now, for our viewers at home, who there are some viewers. I know there are some allies out there who watch the show to learn about the community and what goes on and what we're about, and it's all about unity. And for our viewers at home who have never been to one, who might like to go to one, what does it consist of? Now, like, is there a talent competition? Is there a swimsuit competition? Is there an evening gown competition? Is there a tuxedo? What happens?
This is great. It's a true community event. There is not a swimsuit competition. We're grateful, I'm sure. But they did have a talent portion. They did have a themed wear portion. We also had one year I had to answer questions, but this year we actually didn't have that.
Oh, the old question out of the fishbowl kind of thing?
Which was interesting, yeah. But not this year.
We had a pretty heavy interview process too, because
on stage or beforehand?
Beforehand. They did it the day before, and that ended up being the majority of the points, because I think that Pride as an organization in Rhode Island at least wanted to sort of steer it in that direction of what are you going to bring to this role, what are you going to do with it, and just sort of get an insight into the person that would be holding these titles for a year. So
Now, was that probably the interview was the most nerve-wracking, correct? Or talent?
No, the interview, once it was over, I think, we all felt like we're glad it's over, because it was the most points. But I think the day of show was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know, I think we were both pretty sure that we were going to do well in the interview, at least us two. So the day of, that was really, are we going to mess up? Or
Yes,
this,
yes.
that? But it ended up being, a good experience, flaws and all.
For the interview, we get a lot of practice, whereas I feel like the day of is more, you're just like going for it. So I can be a little more scared.
Now, there is the talent portion.
Yes.
What was your talent? And why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I did a parody song to the song Milkshake, but I really...
Oh my God, I need to see that. Can I go online and see that?
You can, you absolutely can. It was a lot of fun.
You just made my day.
Thank you. Right, it was a lot of fun, but I really wanted to talk about community in the parody song, so I did end up mentioning some of the previous title holders, and I did mention some of the things I wanted to accomplish in the song.
Now, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish?
So my big goals were a lot of community building, but also focuses on youth mental health and wellness. I'm currently a therapeutic mentor, so I already work with youth out in the field, and this is like a really big passion of mine. So this year I really wanted to focus more on queer youth, and I've had that opportunity so far, and it's been like amazing.
Speaking of queer youth, is there safe homes in Rhode Island? Like there is here in
That's a good
Massachusetts? It's a
question.
wonderful organization. If you don't know about Safe Homes, I will turn you on to that, and you'll be inspired by them and their work
Please
too.
do.
What did you want to achieve for the community as well?
Yeah, so I knew that, you know, I've always been sort of like a private person, which is why this was
That's quite a change.
Yeah, it's a change. It for sure is. But I wanted to take that and say, you know, like this isn't necessarily about me. I know that, you know, I'm a white, gay, cis male in a community of LGBTQ folks that, you know, aren't always heard. And so I wanted to shift the focus and make sure that I was using my title to allow other people to, other folks in our community to speak. And so I started a podcast, which has been...
I wanted to bring up your podcast. Yes.
Yeah. So that's sort of been my consistent thing that I've been doing throughout the year. We've tackled, it's called Knowing Better. We've tackled a bunch of issues in the HIV. We've tackled substance abuse. We've talked about trans issues. So
All very heavy hitting,
yeah,
wonderful.
and it was from the mouths of those who lived those experiences, and so we just kind of walk through their stories and what they want to impart as far as knowledge to the larger community. So that's been a really positive, not a learning experience for me, but also I hope everyone else.
And speaking of your podcast, I think one of your guests on your podcast was Kira Stone. Is
She
that correct?
was,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
correct? Let's give a shout out to Kira Stone, who's going to be watching on New England Pride TV
Of course
and
she is.
seeing her
Yay,
friends
Kira.
here, right? Yes, we got Kira. We have to get you on the show too. So we'll reach out to you.
I'll put a bug in her ear.
Put a bug in her ear? All right, great. It has been an absolutely enlightening, educational time talking with you. Thank you so much for coming in to film on New England Pride TV.
Thank you for having
And
us.
if people want to reach out to you and perhaps ask you any questions that they might want to, how would they be able to reach you?
You can find me on Facebook, Tim Rondo, Instagram, Tim Rondo.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
there. So
I actually follow you on Instagram.
and likewise.
And oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, okay. I feel so honored right now.
Yeah.
You don't follow me yet, right?
On
so get on
Facebook
it.
I do. On
Oh, you
Facebook.
do?
See,
Oh,
there you go.
all right. Do you have an Instagram account too?
I do.
All
Yes.
right. Tell people at home how they can reach you on Facebook.
So it'd be Facebook Ashley Delgado and Instagram Speak Smash.
Speak Smash?
Yes.
Love it. Thank you. We'll be back with more New England Pride right after this.
Hey Dale, hi everyone. It's me, Miss Lady Sabrina, and we're back with another letter. Actually, the letter was a little too personal to read, so I'm going to just paraphrase for you. It's a couple that is trying to figure out how to bring a little more heat back into the bedroom. So, I'm going to try and keep it as clean as possible, but we are talking about matters of the heart in the bedroom, so you never know where we're going to go with it. All right, so when you're with someone, you know, I think one of the things is that, you know, sex does get a little boring, you know, a little mundane. So you always got to add stuff to it, you know, like a little light S&M, you know. If you can't try it with the person that you're with and trust that person with your safety, then, you know, what's the point? You know, I think one of the other things that you can do that I think is awesome is role play. You know, I mean, that could be like a fireman, a stubborn hydrant, or a nurse and sick patient. Or you can take it a step further and do an outing. You know, so you plan on meeting at a bar at about the same time. You know, you both look real good. And your partner's job is to pick you up, to use every cheesy line he knows. And there's no guarantee that he'll win you over that night. You gotta play hard to get. And then, of course, you know, you laugh, you joke, you pretend to be, you know, whoever you want to be. And then you carry that fantasy off into home. I mean, I think it is ridiculous to think that the missionary position is going to hold out forever. You know, it's great to make love, you know, and when you're making love, you know, I mean, it's just kind of all about that connection. But then there's the other type of sex, which is just about having sex. So that can be creative. That could, I mean, you can involve food. I don't choose to involve food because it gets messy and sticky and not my thing. But, you know, I mean, there are so many different ways that you can go with it. But what I suggest is I suggest to sit down and have an open and honest conversation about what your fetishes are. You know, what you really enjoy. Maybe things that you haven't talked about, or maybe things that your partner isn't necessarily on board with, but is willing to do it for you. Because turnabout is fair play when it comes time for their fetishes. You know, you're going to be expected to play the same role. All right. Well, I hope this finds you well. If you have any more questions, send them my way. I love you all. Bye.
Thanks for staying with us here on New England Pride TV. I'm Dale LePage. Right now, I am sitting with Tammy LaForest, who holds the title of MX Bisexual Rhode Island 2017. And Joe DeMauro, he is the author of the book Spectrum, which I'll be showing you later. And he is the former Mr. Gay Rhode Island 2016. And that's how we met.
Yes,
because you were on the show a couple years ago, maybe?
I think if I'm doing the math correctly, a couple years ago.
Right. Math is not my strong suit, so you can tell me anything, I'll believe you.
It works out.
Tammy, can you explain for our viewers at home, MX, what that term means?
An MX is a gender-neutral title because this title had contestants that could have been from either gender or any gender because it's gender-neutral.
I love the all-inclusive. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. Now, let's start with you with a question that I always want to know this when I'm interviewing somebody who's a title holder. What made you want to compete in the Rhode Island pageant?
So I went just straight into this gay community from being in a communal church and a Christian marriage. So I didn't know any of my peers and my people that I needed to know all these years, and I wanted to just jump right in and meet a lot of people.
I love that. First of all, you said that very well. People that you wanted to meet, all you should have been meeting. That's beautiful.
And my sexuality was not welcome in the church world, which I am no longer of.
Right.
But my sexuality also wasn't quite welcome in the gay community either, which I actually didn't really realize it.
Now, that's always amazed me. So you're in the LGBTQ community. Have you ever experienced somebody like, not discrimination? Is it discrimination if they don't understand or they don't think you're part of the community? Is that?
I would say it's unintentional. It's just a lack of understanding.
Lack of understanding, lack of education. And has anyone ever said to you, like, just make up your mind already, or something like that, like something like uneducated like that?
I've gotten that a lot. There hasn't
You've
really...
gotten that a lot?
Well, I've gotten that quite a bit from the straight community, but what I haven't had from the gay community is just make up your mind. I've had a lot of just not being welcome. And and my goal of the year was to raise bisexual awareness.
I love this. Thank you.
And that has become more of my goal, that to make a safe, welcoming space for bisexuals, people with children, other women, trans women, anyone with a feminine gender identity.
And this is the platform you ran on?
Well, I had run on bisexual awareness, but it's expanded into this. The more that I've held the title, the longer I've held it, the more I realize that it's needed. And more women and those who are feminine have come to me and said, I haven't felt welcome in the mainstream gay safe spaces, which doesn't really make sense because you'd think they're supposed to be the safe spaces. So I've recently, with others, formed a Rhode Island Queer Women's Collective, which is welcoming to all of the female or feminine gender identities.
And there wasn't one before, and
there
you created
wasn't. So I didn't alone create it. A group of us created it. We saw a need, and we came up with it, and we were having meetings and meetups, and it's a good time.
So bravo to you. That is fantastic. I can't believe there wasn't one before, and you found that need, and you filled that need, and now people are feeling more welcome in a safe space.
Yes, it's really exciting to have that space.
I love that. Now, the other question I want to ask you, which I'm going to ask our other title holders today, was, what was your talent? I know there's a talent competition.
So I'm a professional musician, so it wasn't that difficult for me.
Singer-songwriter?
Yeah, singer-songwriter, front person of a band. So I was
Okay,
on
what's the
stage
name of the- what's the
playing
name
an
of the
original
band?
The Dust Ruffles.
The Dust-
I'm also in a duo
All right,
with
stop
my
right there.
partner.
Stop right there, because the Dust Ruffles is an amazing name.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. I love it. And then you're part of a duo group?
Yes, with my partner Gina. So
Okay.
Tammy and Gina it is called. So we play a lot of gay bars.
and if our viewers and myself want to find your videos, or do you have a website for your band? Or
So TammyLaForest.com is my website. You can also find my Facebook, which is Tammy LaForest Music, and Tammy and Gina is my duo. We have
And there's
it's
lots
just
of
everywhere.
videos up there
It
that
all
can-
leads one to the other. Yes, we have lots of videos.
Fantastic. I
YouTube,
love it.
other people's videos.
Now, Joe, I'm going to reach over to you for a second. You came out with a book. Was it this year or last year?
August this year. So
August of, okay.
yeah.
So, well, this is January, so last year. Yeah, I
Yes,
got to remember
last
that
year,
we're taping 6 weeks in advance, right? But your book has received, first of all, this is Spectrum, this is on camera too. This is Spectrum by Joe DeMauro, and it has received rave reviews. Now, that must have just sent you over the moon.
Yeah, it was really amazing to see people react to a story that is not really that happy all the time. It's a very dark and raw story. So I think all the positive feedback it's received has been really empowering. So.
Now, I personally know R.J. Sheedy, who you went on his show, and he could not say enough good things about this book. He private messaged me on Facebook, and his message was pretty much verbatim. Oh my God, have you read Spectrum yet? He goes, I cannot put it down. I'm loving every page of it. And I'm like, I got to get my hands on a book. So here you are, and here's my book. I'm all set now. But now, you wrote this, but after writing this, you also went on an author. You were talking with other authors, an author platform, and you spoke again.
It was a book signing kind of event
With 2 or 3 other authors.
with 3 other authors. Yeah.
And how did you find that? Did you find that?
It was really interesting because I think they're all at different stages and different kinds of writing methods too. And I met with Tina Blank at a cafe, and we've talked about writing, and it was really great to like develop this community of LGBT writers in the area too. So it was really great.
So, if this isn't enough, bravo first of all for this. You're working on a second book, are you?
I am.
You are.
Yeah. So that one is getting a new redesign. Just the cover is getting redesigned. There's going to be a bonus chapter at the end of it. It's going to be a lot cheaper too, so people can buy it. And then the second one's going to be released in August of 2018. So
Does it have a working title yet?
it does. So it's called The Canary in a Coal Mine. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Now, I'm immediately upset because you said you're going to redesign the cover, because I love this cover.
Well, I can't stay blindfolded for long, you know. I have to take it out.
All right, great. Now, you were the reigning Mr. Gay Rhode Island 2016, correct?
Yes.
Now, in that year that you held that title, did you achieve the goals you set out to reach?
Yeah, I think that's the most important part, is like setting goals for yourself. There are like organizational expectations, but I think you kind of, it's like a dress that you're given that you kind of alter to what you want it to be. I think it's important to kind of set a message and get that across. So I think as long as you're getting your message across, I think you're doing a good job. So.
As long as you get your message across, that's
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Got to get the mission statement out there.
Yeah, because everyone kind of brings something different to the table to their own title. So I think it's important to succeed on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you been working on any of your goals since your title? You've been handed the title?
Yes, I have achieved some of my goals. I've
Wonderful.
redirected. I'm working with the Sojourner House right now, which is a program that advocates for people who have been victims of domestic violence. And I'm working with them for their spring campaign. I just helped them with their fall campaign, and that's going really well.
Absolutely a pleasure having you on the show today. There's so much more I wanted to bring up and talk about, but unfortunately we are out of time. But if people would like to buy any of Joe's books, they can go where?
They can go to my Facebook page. It's Spectrum by Joe DeMauro, and there's an Amazon link there. So.
And your the Dust Ruffles, the Dust Ruffle band?
It's just thedustruffles.com or tammylaforest.com.
All right, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. And as I, I've said this before, my New Year's resolution is to get to know Rhode Island better.
Wow.
Because it's such an amazing city, and I want to be part of that.
Incredible.
So maybe I'll be a judge at the next Pride pageant next year. How's that
that
sound?
would be great.
A little bit of a drop right there. they better put you on.
Thank you so much. We'll be back
you.
with more New England Pride right after this.
Hello, and welcome to Rod's Proper-gander. Or, I guess since this is New England Pride Television, that would be Rod's Propaganda, which is a joke that's never gonna get old for me. It's alright if you don't find it funny. I will be okay. My name is Rod Ferguson, and I am thrilled to finally have a platform to push my views onto others, which is, I believe, the American dream. Yes. Of course, now that I have your ear, I've discovered I have nothing to say. Much like most other people on television, but I will be honest about that, and hopefully we will have fun anyway. I suppose I should tailor my comments to you, the discerning viewer of New England Pride Television. So I'll assume that you are gay-friendly, or someone who is adamantly anti-LGBT, but just wants to keep tabs on the gay agenda. So I'll have to be gay-neutral. That'll be a first. I know you're thinking, where do I send my Rod Ferguson fan mail? It's a good question, and I honestly don't know the answer. I assume that most of you will be content to simply stalk me on Facebook. Fingers crossed. But for those of you who wish to go the extra mile and send fan mail, I humbly request that you please include a lock of your hair with your letter. That way, I'll have a DNA sample to submit to the authorities. And not the gross kind. No. I'm just kidding. How can I report you? You're my fan. No. I want the DNA sample so I can clone you. And then I will have 2 fans. It's called thinking outside the box. Now, I'm not going to talk about my love life, because that would be unfair to the thousands of people involved. And by involved, I mean they turned me down. Fools! I can't really give love advice since my future husband is taking his sweet time finding me. But I guess the most important love advice is to love yourself. And I'll admit it took me a little while, but I am finally on board with that, and I highly recommend it. Yes. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you love your Facebook statuses more than anyone else. I think that's all the time that we have. I've enjoyed myself. Hopefully you have too. And maybe next time I will even have something to say on Rod's Propaganda.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of New England Pride TV. We're going to be ending the show the way we always do, by thanking you for watching, but always, please don't be afraid to shine your light.
Because you may be lighting the way for someone in need.
That's right. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. If you'd like to see a topic covered on New England Pride TV, reach out to our Facebook page, New England Pride TV Facebook page. Thank you. See you next time.
Tune in, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. New England pride.